case backlog. Number 3 is to ensure the veracity of data that is generated from the stations for informed decision making. And number 4 is to review private incentives and celebration. Number 3, embrace intergenerational leadership to guide other JOs and staff through mentorship and peer review. Code of ethics is to sensitize other JOs and staff on the code of conduct and ethics. We just had one resolution there. Support desk at every station. We've been assured this morning by Director Kingo we have a huge procurement of equipment coming, and so every station will be able to have at least an extra machine to help this.
To grow your money for you as I grow mine. May the Lord God continue blessing us and take care of us, and may we have safe safari. Unless I have the Muslims on board, and unless I have everybody else on board. Thankfully, you are judges as me.
I haven't given marching orders yet.
I thought we'd be talking to ourselves this morning. Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu,
I know you love the fact that we make noise, you know we're having fun. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable DCRJ. I'm not going to attempt to talk Swahili. I will speak the
Kiswahili tunajaribu. Thank you very much. I think without much ado, let me welcome the Honorable RMC to continue this session. Thank you. Facility that can actually accommodate this team. You remember last year was a very good place, but haikuwa mambo ya chakula ya usawa. The facilities available. There was a team that was actually going around the country. I think they visited maybe 3 or 4 other counties, and that is why at the beginning we challenged the governor to. Thank you very much. Very good comments, except that it was not a
believe that we're going to make it stronger and make it an institution that the judiciary is proud of and all Kenyans are. Yaki, Honorable Anna Suga, I think it was wonderful for all of you to decide that we come to this place. So, honorable colleagues, as we take our schools off with rain and in the morning the sunshine is here, I think it's a great place to be any time. And if an occasion arises again, I think you can still bring it here. We've stayed here we have spoken to at a personal level. Doing 23 years is not easy, but we've been there, and so we believe that for those who are there, having done that time or a little more, you are still concerned that not everyone will have been able to fit in the positions, but it's almost agreed that it was fair, and therefore it is felt that whatever was got for the appointment or bringing us here, otherwise we would have been out there and we wouldn't have felt this. And I think talking to everyone or the persons whom we've been able to meet, this place was culpable, it was felt everywhere that something good had happened. And so we want to thank the Honorable. Thank you so much, Honorable Demo. Thank you so much, Honorable DCJ, together with colleagues. I just want to say thank you.
Okay. On performance appraisal, number 1 is to implement staff training on data entry, and this will be connected to the one I'll bring on ICT, a psychosocial support framework that is available, and recommend them as necessary. Number 2 is to support and follow up on JOs and staff who have undergone the psychosocial support program. Both the CUC meetings and also at the LMTs. Any comments? 3 is to focus on alternative forms of dispute resolution to address backlog and the state of infrastructure in stations, both at the CUC and the LM. Any comments? All right, with regard to court user committee empowerment, that was also an area of discussion.
Because we hadn't looked and seen that there was oncoming water or there were heaps of sand. And so, please, msiende usiku, except the people who live around here, the rest of us, tuamke asubuhi, tuende tukiona. So that we don't are very rough. We passed through some place with my team the other days who were coming here. And last time I passed there was a road, but when we got there, around my
the principles of inclusiveness and shared leadership envisage a justice system that involves diverse perspectives and fosters collaboration in decision-making process. It does not and cannot represent absconding duty on the dilution of responsibility through inappropriate delegation or through the avoidance of accountability under the guise of collective action. As leaders, you must not only lead by example in regard to court performance and case management, you are responsible for planning, budgeting, and doing all those things that require that a leader leads from the front. You must not only budget for court activities, you must manage court station finances, you must manage procurement processes, and you must manage human resource management as well as other day-to-day operations of our stations. As you leaders, you must inculcate and articulate to all judiciary personnel in the station the institutional vision. You bear overall responsibility and accountability for human resource management, including the wellness and psychosocial support, the finance and accounts, the supply chain management, the project management, the facilities maintenance, the performance management, the registry operations, harnessing ICT, organizing training and learning, communication and stakeholder engagement, in dealing with all issues that affect the service delivery to our court users who pay our salaries. Shared leadership to me means and includes that you must consult, that you must partner, that you must allow for robust and genuine public participation, that within constitutional, and you stay within constitutional lanes, and in the spirit of independence, you must enhance the ability of all actors to effectively realize their respective mandates. But the overall responsibility for the effective administration and dispensation of justice at and through your station, unfortunately, rests with you, the head of station. Do not read shared leadership to somehow divest you of this important responsibility and accountability. My colleagues, you discussed the judiciary data tracking dashboard and the status of e-filing. Allow me to link these important ICT solutions to another important topic that we also discussed, that of performance and individual accountability. Chapter 7 of the Guide for Heads of Station, which we developed ourselves, is clear that the head of station is responsible and accountable for the overall performance of his or her station and must put in place a good performance management system that helps the judicial officers and staff in the station to understand the station's and the institution's objectives and what they are expected to do to achieve these goals. Implementation of the resolutions that were enumerated by the Honorable DCRJ. As is evident from the presentation from the DCRJ on the resolutions, we captured the key issues and we will ensure that action is taken. In addition to what he has presented, I would like to lay a bit of emphasis on a few issues. First is on the issue of socialization on STARJ and culture change. STARJ opens a new chapter in the ongoing transformation of the judiciary and the administration of justice, and it is of utmost importance that we carry everyone along. We will therefore give priority to the development of a curriculum that will guide the socialization program in order to sensitize all our judges, judicial officers and staff on the blueprint. Secondly, there was the issue about proposal to ring-fence station team building funds. I want to say that team building activities are vital to the promise of a team inspired of judges, a team of inspired judges, judicial officers and staff committed to excellence in service delivery. As such, all courts are encouraged to budget for team building during the work planning. I have approved many of these during my term in office, and we have not declined any funded team building activities. However, we need to balance this important exercise with our core mandate to ensure minimum disruption of court services, as far as possible, to ensure that no matters are taken out of the course list. Kindly give us sufficient notice of at least 3 weeks. This is what we'll be asking for. Concerns about reallocation of team building budget can be dealt with on a case-to-case basis. Thirdly is the issue of funding for station for open days where the station budget is exhausted. As I have stated, the place of work plans cannot be overemphasized in the present judiciary. Where we are heading, work plans are of utmost importance and everything should be in the work plan to avoid knee-jerk reactions to budgeting. I would like to encourage all stations to budget for and hold open days for engagement with members of the public on the work the station is doing. Even as we were here, I was pleased to note that a number of stations had open days this week. This includes Keno, Kangundo, and Madiani. In line with the STARJ blueprint, we are exploring ways of deepening our engagement with the public, including through preparation and presentation of soldier reports at the station level. Once the Chief Justice has constituted the soldier committee for this year, we will work with the committee to develop a framework for reporting by stations to their immediate stakeholders at the local level to facilitate more meaningful engagement with our work. Deeper understanding of our work at this level can increase confidence in the judiciary, foster better understanding of our successes and challenges, and help with our resource mobilization. The fourth issue is on performance appraisal for judicial officers and heads of station. As I sat here, I noted the emotive discussion following the presentation by DPOP on the performance appraisal of judicial officers. Colleagues, it is nearly a decade since we rolled out the PMMUs, and it is time to critically examine the appraisal tools to align with our current priorities. The landscape has indeed changed,
with the rollout of STARGE blueprint, and the appraisal framework must evolve accordingly. Under STARGE, a judicial officer has many other roles aside from adjudication of disputes that are presented in court. The full spectrum of the roles of judicial officers must be reflected in the appraisal framework. The daunting work we undertake in the administration of our stations must also be considered in our evaluation. Additionally, the focus of our appraisal tools has been the quantity of our work rather than the quality of the justice outcomes we help our clients to achieve. This needs to change so that we can move more to qualitative justice. I also agree that we need to re-examine the weighting of court cases handled by judicial officers. No two cases are alike, and we need to look at the nature and complexity of each case, number of parties, and other parameters that will help us better appreciate the amount of work it takes to conclude each case. Consultation with judicial officers is key in developing this new framework, and I'm glad that we agreed on the nomination of the 7 heads of station to work with us and depot on the performance parameters. Fifth is the issue of staff training on ICT and data entry. Colleagues, the new judiciary is now driven by data. It informs nearly everything that we do, from appointments, promotions, and even transfers, to the establishment of new courts and the budgets we allocate to stations and other spending units. The inaccuracy in our data is something that has caught the attention of the leadership team and was discussed last week at the Judiciary Management Committee retreat that was chaired by the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice. When the Administration of Justice and Performance Management Committee presented its report, the JMC resolved that training be done for data entry officers who should, as far as possible, be retained in the data entry role even when transferred to other stations. We will roll out this training in the coming months as directed by the JMC. Sixth is the issue of flexibility of working hours and dress code. The proposals on flexible working hours and how our staff dress for work is a live example of the challenges that call for intergenerational leadership, which I mentioned in my opening remarks on Monday, and which was echoed throughout the forum. Given the nature of the judiciary, this has to be thought through carefully, noting that some of our colleagues work in client-facing functions and they need to be at work during standard working hours. However, we have noted the concerns and the proposals, and we will explore this issue further and get directions from the leadership. The seventh issue was on solar power. As we deploy more technology, solutions to enhance our internal processes and service delivery, we have to contend with power supply challenges which compromise the reliability of these solutions. Power supply is a big challenge in many stations. It came up during the court visits by the JSC last year and at the beginning of this year, and it also came up here. Many stations, particularly standalone Kagi courts, have also raised DAS to review the current solution to ensure we have a cost-effective yet reliable solar power solution which can be deployed in as many stations as are in need. These are a select few of the issues that I thought I should emphasize on. The Honorable DCRJ presented the detailed resolutions and many other issues were dealt with by the RMC and other speakers during the plenary discussions. Mine is to assure you that we will look into all these concerns. Finally, as we wind up today, I hope that we all enjoyed the Kisii hospitality, and we look forward to the next HOS forum in Makueni. I implore us to, this afternoon, fully participate in the CSR activity this afternoon. Please contribute to the treasurer if you haven't, and let us all accompany the RMC to this activity. With those few remarks, it is now my singular honor to welcome the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Bete Mwilu, to give her remarks and officially close this edition of the annual Heads of Station Forum.